Giulio, il direttore della fotografia. Walker Lorch, montatore. Alessandra Maria Lara. Tim Roth. E il regista Francis Ford Coppola.
He's the agent, and then the agent calls and nothing's normal with this guy. So then I called back the number, and a woman answered, and I thought this joke's getting more developed, and said that claimed to be Francis's wife, which I didn't believe at all, and said that Francis was in the shower, and then that they would call me back, and I waited, and the phone call didn't come, and then I was going to, and then I called the agent and said, have you heard anything about Francis? He said, no, nothing. And then I thought it was getting bad, and then he called, and I still didn't quite believe it. I was not sure. And then I got the script, and I still wasn't sure. And then when I got the job, I still wasn't sure. I still felt that it was a dream, which echoes the film quite nicely. But I really never quite felt that I arrived until maybe at the end, when it was all over. So I really thought that someone was playing around with me, and I was quite angry about it.
Sì, allora.
Well, speaking as the financier, it was not a low budget, please. I think anyone who sees the film can see that it's not a low budget. I mean, it was an epic fable that went through many different periods, many different countries, many locations. We had costumes and hairdressers and Nazis and tanks and trains and you know, for some reason they think because I financed it, it's a low budget. No. I also financed Apocalypse Now, which was definitely not a low budget. So beyond that, what can I say? It's I always wanted to be a personal filmmaker. I think when I was very young, I made The Rain People, which is I see is going to be shown. We were inspired, when I say we, people of my age, by the great films from Europe, from Italy. We had so many great directors we could spend all afternoon just saying their names, and France and also other countries in Europe, but also Japan, and that's what made many people of my age want to be filmmakers, and I never, as a young man, expected to have the kind of success which came ultimately from The Godfather, and I always was nostalgic about, oh, I want to write scripts about interesting things and make movies in a more personal way, and it was only later when I was older that I thought, well, if I had the life of an older director when I was young, maybe I can have the life of a younger director when I'm old. And that took me to the subject matter of Mircea Eliade, Youthful Youth, and Alfred Giovanezza. Tenerezza farà tenerezza, is that right in Romanian? So thank you for inviting us here. We'd be happy to talk with you about whatever you might be interested in, and then thank you so much for the wonderful collaborators, in particular my longest collaborator, Walter Murch, who is a great filmmaker in his own rights, and that is the way we work together.
Ci sono già molte mani alzate. Io.
Romania is a country with a great intellectual and artistic heritage, poetry, music, theater. There were 50 parts in the film, aside from the 3, and they were all played, every role in the film, including the portrayal of the great Giuseppe Tucci, an Italian Orientalist, was played all by Romanians, in that case, Marcel Duras. And I went to much theater, there's much theater. Of course, Romania, as a new member of the EU, is in a moment of great blossoming after 70 years of what can only be described as darkness. It's an exciting country, wonderful young people who are in love with the cinema and have distinguished themselves. The winners of the Cannes Film Festival this year, but even several years ago, this is an exciting country, as I say, one with a great heritage, and I was very pleased to work with Romanian talent. The film was, you would say, the great majority of everyone we worked with, crew, cast, were Romanian. They're wonderful people. You know, they make good wine. In fact, I said to them, I said, did you teach the Romans how to make wine, or did the Romans teach you? He said, no, we taught the Romans how to make wine.
Sono Daniele, giornalista. Senta, per scegliere i tuoi attori gli ha fatto fare anche una conoscenza dei limiti, secondo lei produttore, e poi dopo 10 anni di regia, come si è ritrovato a dirigere?
We had a very nice time together. All of the collaborators, the actors, we drank wine, we ate food, we laughed, we had fun. It was, of course, wine is part of life. And what was the last part of the question? How did I feel about directing again? Well, you know, many directors take a few years, especially if you write your own script. I was doing 2 things. I was trying to write and find myself as a writer and find my place in the movie business, because I didn't want to be, you know, a kind of entertainment director as I had been. I wanted to be someone who did only personal films, but to do that I had to have the money to finance the film, so I was also creating a business that could possibly support making personal films, which I did.
Per dovere di cronaca, a volte siamo anche costretti a fare questo tipo di domande al signor Coppola. Ieri la fontana di Trevi a Roma è stata indossata di rosso, anche con un'azione un po' provocatoria nei confronti della festa del cinema. Visto che lei oggi è la star del nostro red carpet, volevo avere un suo parere, un suo giudizio di fronte a questi atti. Se le è mai capitato anche in passato di trovarsi in festa così prestigiosi dove sono accaduti eventi collaterali così un po' strani?
To share these questions with my colleagues, I will ask the most intelligent person here, Walter Murch, what he thinks of this question.
Thank you very much.
Lei mi raccontasse da dove inizia questa storia per lei. Grazie.
Starts with the beginning of the film. It's a story of Marcel Biade. It begins with an older man who feels his life has not led to his goal, his desire to finish a great work, and he is still haunted by the dreams of the young girl he foolishly lost when he was young. And that's the beginning. He wakes up and he weeps, as I'm sure many elderly people do who find themselves alone.